Good morning, students. Uh, in the differentiation, we already have completed the examples. Today we will look for exercise 13.2. We have some good questions, so we'll start with fourth one. Find the differentiation by first principle. So whenever it is stated by first principle, so you are bounded. You have to use the first principle law. Suppose we have a question. Question number 2, I am telling you, f of x equal to x minus 1 and x minus 2. So it is better to multiply first. It is better to multiply first. Now you are having a simple function. You know that how to apply the first principle. You need f of x plus h. So it gonna be x plus h squared. It gonna be x plus h, and it is only 2. So this is only the value. Now you know that what is the formula of first principle? F of x plus h minus f of x upon h, and put the values. This is 1 by h outside. X plus f of x plus h is this one. And f of x is this one. So it is minus sign. So I will change all the signs here. X squared plus 3x minus 2. Now furthermore, I tell you, it is 1 by h. Just open it. A squared plus b squared plus 2ab minus 3x minus 3h plus 2 minus x squared plus 3x minus 2. Now all possible cancellation, apply it. This is x squared positive. Sorry, this is a plus 3x and minus 3x cancel. This is plus x squared and minus x squared cancel. And it is a 2 and 2 cancel. So the rest term I am going to write here. It is 1 by h. And this is x squared 2xh. And minus 3h are remaining. Now take out h common. H common. So it's h, 2x and 3 is remaining. H and h cancel. Put h tends to 0 at all the way. This is going to be 0. 2x and 3. So your answer is 2x minus 3. This is the answer. So this is by first principle. You have to complete the question. Actually it is so long. But by first principle, if it is coming by name, you have to do by this method only. Okay, so this is a question. Now so I'll go with some more questions. Like fourth one, if I'm taking, it is x plus 1 upon x minus 1. This is a question. Now you know that what is the first principle? For that you need f of x plus h. X plus h plus 1, x plus h minus 1. So by first principle you know h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x upon h, and apply it. 1 by h, f of x plus h is this one, and f of x is this one. Afterward, take an LCM. So easy it is all. You know, when we take an LCM, we have two terms like that. So these two will multiply each other, and these two will multiply each other. And now, after multiplying, what we get? These two will multiply each other. X squared minus x plus hx minus h and x minus 1. And these two will multiply with minus. All signs will change. X squared plus x minus hx and minus h minus x immediately plus x, and this is plus 1. So whatever the sign you got, it is x squared, and x both got a minus sign, plus it was plus hx, it's gonna be minus, then plus h is gonna be minus, then minus 1 x, this is gonna be plus x, and this is minus gonna be plus 1 because of that minus sign. Now up in upon we have x plus h minus 1 and x minus 1. I tell you one thing which is very positive, that whenever you will do this work, you will see that all the term of single x will cancel. Can you see? X square and x square cancel, minus x and plus x cancel, plus x and minus x cancel. Moreover, we can have a number also which can cancel, minus 1 and plus 1. So all the like them now, balance it, hx and minus hx, wow, these two also cancelling. So we have only minus h and minus h, it's a minus 2h. And upon side we have a number x plus h minus 1 and x minus 1. So lastly I would say this h and h will cancel, and in the rest term you can put the h tends to 0. So this is going to be 0, x minus 1 is remaining here, and x minus 1 is remaining here. So lastly we have a x minus 1 whole square. So this is very easy concept, it is nothing hard. You only follow the concept, method, and use a limit and get answer. So this was a simple question. Now let me complete some more questions. We have question number 7. Question number 7 says for some constant a and b find the derivative. So we just want to find the derivative. How we can find out? I tell you that first question is x minus z, x minus b. So let me explain one thing, that you know we have two methods to do this question. You can multiply these two and make a single function and do the differentiation. Second method is use a multiplication law between them. So your answer may be different from your obtained answer, may possible. So you don't worry, both answers are correct. Either you can multiply and then do differentiation, or you can do directly by multiplication law. So if I am using multiplication law, what I get? dy by dx is equal to d by dx of x minus a, x minus b. Let me speak one thing, that I am not doing by first principle. It is not told in the question. So when it will be stated or specially told about to do the differentiation by first principle, use the first principle law. Otherwise, you can do the differentiation by fundamental method. So I am writing here differentiation of y with respect to x. I left the term and directly I have operated d by dx both sides. So d by dx of these two functions we are having. I taught you the formula yesterday. I taught you what was the formula. First function as it is, differentiation of second, plus second function as it is, differentiation of first function. So I taught you yesterday. You remember it? X minus a, d by dx of x minus b. What is the answer? You know we have a two term, and between them we have minus sign. So d by dx will operate with both. d by dx of x 1, d by dx of b 0. Because b is a constant, and I taught you the differentiation constant is 0. And d by dx of x is 1 and d by dx of a is 0. And now you are very near to the answer. X minus a into 1 x minus a, x minus b into 1 x minus b. Lastly, x and x 2x minus a minus b. That's an answer. So it was so simple. One can do it easily. But question number 2. If you will see this question, ax square plus b whole square. So I advise you don't write 2 times ax square plus b into ax square plus b. You also can write, but don't write. You only expand this by all the way. This is square, so one can expand it easily. First, this is square plus this is square plus 2ax square b. Try to understand. And we have a square x4 plus b square plus 2abx square. Now we have a simple function. So we can differentiate a differentiation of y with respect to x. So this is gonna be dy by dx, and this is gonna be dy by dx of a square x4 b square and 2abx square. Now what we will do? you know d by dx will operate with both with all the term because the terms are in addition. So d by dx of a square x4 will be coming, d by dx of b square is coming, and d by dx of 2abx square is coming. What will be done? A square and x4. Let me explain. A is a constant along with x. With multiplication, the differentiation of a square will not be 0 because there is multiplication with x to the power 4. So a square will come out as it is. Here b square is a alone term. So differentiation of constant is 0. And 2ab is a constant term which will come out because x square is in multiplication. So we will do only the differentiation of x square. The answer is now a square, differentiation of x4, this power will come front and 1 will reduce from power, and 2ab power will come front and 1 will reduce from power. So your answer is given by 4a square x cube and 4abx. Now you can take out some common and give your reply answer properly. So this is a way of doing the questions. I don't think it's a tough one, guys. So easy it was all. Now let me choose some question. We have question number 7th and 3rd one. Let me tell you one thing. We have to find the derivative. We have two methods to do the differentiation. First is a first principle and second is a fundamental law. So in this question particular, we are not told about the first principle, so we will use only the division formula of meaning fundamental concept. So what we will use? Not writing very formal sentences and only applying d by dx both sides. So dy by dx equal to d by dx of x minus a upon x minus b. Now, one can simply predict that it is a division. So you know division law, denominator as it is. And I taught you that when 2 terms are coming or 3 terms are coming, use a bracket. d by dx, denominator, differentiation of numerator minus numerator, differentiation of denominator upon the square of the denominator. So I'm using bracket everywhere because it was a binomial. So wherever the 2 terms or more terms are coming, use a bracket. Okay. X minus b is coming as it is. D by dx of both will come. Both will be done. So d by dx of x is 1 because it is a minus sign. You know in plus and minus d by dx separates with and comes with all the terms. So d by dx of x is 1 and d by dx is 0. And d by dx of x is 1 and d by dx b is 0. So upon it is x minus b whole square. So your answer can be given x minus b into 1 and x minus a into 1 upon x minus b square. So your answer is x minus b minus x plus a. X and x cancel and a minus will be remaining upside and x minus b square. That's an answer of the question. So it was so simple again, I tell you. Nothing hard it is. Okay, now let me run this question. Done. More questions are question number 9. Question number 9. In question number 9, we have multiplication and division and so on. So I think one question I want to tell you, no matter at all. Suppose question number 6 I am telling you from the 9th one. We have y is equal to 2 upon x plus 1 and x square upon 3x minus 1. So before doing this question, I again tell you that we have 2 methods to do this question. Either you can do separately, or another method is take an LCM and make a proper question in division and get answer. So we have 2 methods. Already I have told you this. So suppose 2 upon x plus 1 minus x square upon 3x minus 1. We have a term y equal to this one. So I want to take an LCM. 2, 3 is a 6x minus 2 minus x cube minus x square upon I want to multiply these 2 terms 3x square plus x and this will be 2x and minus 1. So my question gonna change this one 6x minus x square minus x cube minus 2 upon 3x square plus 2x minus 1. I am leaving the question right here because it is only divisions remaining. You know how to divide, how to use the division law on the differentiation, you can do it. So do afterward this question. Now we have Question number 10 already I have taught you by first principle differentiation of cos x, already I have taught you this. 11th question, we have 11th question. So lots of questions we are having now. You know, between them we have a sec x. I just want to speak one thing. Whenever sin x, cos x up to cosec x alone function is coming, and you will be, if you will be told, if you are supposed to tell about differentiation of these function, use the first principle law always. So we are having sec x here. So I suggest you do the differentiation of sec x by first principle, because it is, you know, the derivation. So sin x to cosec x, they are particular functions. So use by the first principle. Okay, I am not telling you because already I have taught you from sin x to cosec x. So one and each question already I have explained. So not again I am telling you all. So those are the new questions I want to tell you them now. Look at it. We have question number first. Y is equal to sin x into cos x. Nothing very special. We have a two function multiplication. You know how to deal this question. Go with d by dx of sin x into cos x and use a multiplication law. So first function is same. Differentiation of second function plus second function is same. Differentiation of first function. It is sin x. Differentiation of cos x is a minus sin x. This is cos x and differentiation of sin x is a cos x. So sin into sin is a minus sin square x and cos into cos is a cos square x. I tell you one thing, that it can be written cos square x minus sin square x. And again I tell you cos square x minus sin square x is cos 2x. That is a formula of a trigonometry. If you don't remember, you can drop your answer right here. It is also correct. If you remember the formula, you can write cos 2x also. So this is a question. So I don't think now the questions are to be told, because you know questions are so easy. It depends on the formulas only. If you know the formula, you can make the question easily. Okay. So these were the questions, students. Now let me tell you some example. Example number 19 we are having. Let me rub this question. So from my side, I have done the exercise. It was not very important questions. I looked in the exercise, but in the miscellaneous one, examples, I can see some question. Suppose 19th one. So you know the questions of division already I have explained. So question number 2 I am taking. Y is equal to x plus 1 by x. This is my function. And can you read upside? By first principle you have to do it. So I am using the first principle. Before doing this question, I want to take LCM. And it is going to be easy now. Now you can go with f of x plus h. This is x plus h whole square plus 1 upon x plus h. Like that. Now go with dy by dx. Limit of h tends to 0. F of x plus h minus f of x upon h. Limit h tends to 0. F of x plus h is this one. In the very same method, in division we already made one question, and this is my function. Now what we'll do, I tell you, first of all, you open it. A square plus b square plus 2ab plus 1, and take LCM also. So okay, in next step I will do. Now again LCM. X will multiply in all. X cube xh square 2x square h plus x, and minus of x square plus 1 will multiply this one. So I am doing directly. X cube minus x minus hx square and minus h whole upon, we have a term x plus h and x. Now already I have taught you, whenever this kind of division concept will come, definitely all the term alone x will cancel. You know, x cube and x cube will be cancelled, x and x cancel, and moreover we can have not more terms. Okay, no matter at all. But the terms are remaining only xh square, x square h, 2x square h and hx square can balance by x square h after subtracting and minus h upon x plus h and x. Now can you see all the term of the numerator? H is a common. H is a common. You know, xh will remaining, x square remaining, x square remaining. Both term are same now. Both term are same. Can you see xh square and x both are different? Let me write it. Xh square. This is 2x square h and minus hx square will be x square h, and I need not write this term again. Minus h was there. Okay. Now take h common. Xh x square 1. X plus h and x both cancel. Use the h tends to 0. We'll have a x square minus 1 and x plus 0 and x. Meaning lastly we have answer x square minus 1 upon x square. And this is the answer. So it was a very simple question. I don't think there's any trouble there. This is the example I have made here. Now one more question I want to put. Question number 20, example number 20, in which again first principle will be used. So take the first one. Sin x plus cos x. I tell you one thing, nothing hard. Sin x already done, cos x already done. It is just a combination of both the function together. So it doesn't worry about that. Okay, we'll start with f of x plus h, sin of x plus h, and cos of x plus h. Now go with dy by dx. Limit h tends to 0. F of x plus h minus f of x upon h. Put in the values. F of x plus h, sin x plus h plus cos x plus h. Minus f of x is this. So sign will change. Sin x minus cos x upon h. I tell you, student, I already have taught you this combination of sin and cos. So what we will do now, we will take these two terms together. Sin of x plus h minus sin x, and I will take cos x plus h minus cos x whole upon h. And for bit convenient condition, so because of convenient purpose, I just do sin x plus h minus sin x upon h and cos x plus h cos x upon h, and limit also I break with both the term like that. Now this is a particular question. This is a question in the sign. We remember that the same term we already got. In the case of cos, we already got a same term. You just have to see the derivation of sin x and cos x by first principle, which already we have made in the earlier classes. You can see same terms are coming, and again do it afterward. Sin c minus sin d will be used, cos c minus cos d will be used. Same question you need to copy. Two questions are coming together. You have to copy same as it is. Between them you have a plus sign. Last answer will be cos x minus sin x. Cos x minus sin x. That's the answer. So I don't think that I have to pay and spend time on that, because the main thing I already explained here. You just have to go through after just looking the previous videos and take the help of those and make the answer of this question particular. Okay, so this is the on you only now. We have a question now, x sin x. We have a question x sin. One more last question from my side of the day. Example number 20, same. And question is x sin x. This is the question. So okay, we'll start with f of x plus h as usual. And then I'll go with dy by dx. F of x plus h minus f of x upon h. F of x plus h meaning x plus h sin x plus h minus f of x meaning x sin x upon h. What we will do now? Look at. We will multiply these two terms, x sin x plus h. We will multiply these two terms, h sin x plus h minus x sin x upon h. Now what I will do, these two terms are having x, so I will take x common. So what remaining? Sin x plus h. This h already I have written here, need not write h here. Okay, x and x, I took common, sin x plus h minus sin x will be remaining, and only h sin x plus h is coming here. What I will do now, I want to separate the limit with this and this also. So limit h tends to 0, 1 by h x sin x plus h minus sin x, plus I want to break the limit, and also 1 by h will multiply this term. To try to understand it, this 1 by h is with the both term, so it is h by h, and also I break the limit in two parts. Now only this will be solved. Limit, use the formula sin c minus sin d. You know, sin c minus sin d is none else but 2 cos c plus d by 2 sin c minus d by 2. Apply this formula here. So what will be done? Limit h tends to 0. This is x upon h. X upon h. Use sin c minus sin d is 2 cos c plus d by 2. C meaning x plus h, d meaning h by 2 sin c minus d meaning x plus h minus h by 2. Minus x was there, sorry. This is also x. C plus d by 2 sin c minus d by 2. And this term will be h and h cancel. Put h tends to 0 here. So sin x is remaining. Plus sin x. So this term is sin x. Now what about that whole term? Let me speak something. We can write 2x by h, this, and cos 2x plus h by 2, and sin this to cancel h by 2. This is the question, and plus we already have sin x. What we can do? We have a sin along with angle h by 2. So we need the same term, you know that. It is simple habit now. It is 2 by h. So I will transfer 2 by h in the denominator of sin h by 2 and will have a same the term of denominator as an angle. So limit of x tends to 0. We have an x remaining there, and sin h by 2 upon h by 2 will be coming in plus sin x. Now break the limit in two parts. First, limit h tends to 0, x cos 2x plus h by 2, and limit of h tends to 0, you know, sin h by 2 upon h by 2, and this is plus sin x, the same. Now we'll put h tends to 0 here, x cos 2x by 2 will be x into this gonna be 1, and this is sin x. So last answer is x cos x plus sin x. This is the solution. So it was again a good question. Now guys, you do try for miscellaneous exercise also. We'll have those will be a good question. We will look for them. Thank you.